Let's go read.
Okay, good. There we go.
Perfect.
All right. So for my professor, my name is Aiden Moore. Um, you can go ahead and introduce yourself and what you do in professional life.
Uh, my name is Riley Madden. I'm the Director of Business Development for Lookout Pest Control, and I do mergers and acquisitions.
Nice, nice. Okay. Who or what has had the most influence in shaping your ethical outlook and why?
Um, Probably my dad.
Yeah.
He, the way that I mean, he owned a business growing up,
Mhm.
and he treated everybody with respect. He was a physician, and he had to, take everybody in, give them the same level of care with everything that he did. And he had a super good reputation all over the town that we lived in. And so I always wanted to be like him and have
Right.
that kind of mutual respect with everybody.
That's good. Okay. Where have you seen the greatest ethical failures and how might they have been prevented?
Um, I would say I worked in government contracting earlier in my career, and there was just a lot of like price gouging and upcharging and like, hey, the government's gonna pay whatever we put in front of them. So like,
Mhm.
let's just price it however we want to price it. Um, and I think that just like some kind of accountability, like some sort of, you know, morality in the business probably could have been used. But when like you let people know that there's no accountability,
Mhm.
they're going to take advantage of that.
Right. Was there ever any like anybody higher up that had the same like realization, or was it just all about profit, I guess?
It was all about profit. The way that the CEO at that company operated, like he didn't care and like believed that the system existed to be taken advantage of.
Right. Was it like an everyday thing that happened, or was it just every so often with bigger contracts that they would mark it up to
Just
get?
like I would say it's every so often. I mean, it would be like, hey, the profitability needs to be 25 cents. And you'd be
Right.
like, well, let's just do 50.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do 50. I would say it wasn't like a constant thing, but he was very much trying to push the envelope
Mhm.
pretty often.
Did the government ever push back and negotiate, or was it just like a layover, we'll just pay it thing?
Um, they didn't really push back. I mean, it was kind of just like if you flew too close to the sun, then you wouldn't win the contract.
Right. Okay. All right. Can you describe a significant ethical dilemma you have faced and how you navigated it?
Yeah. So the same CEO, we won a pretty big contract, and we had like five equity partners in the business. He was the 51%, and then the rest of us owned the other 49%. And one of the partners just like he was having like a down few months and wasn't bringing in business the same way that the rest of us were. And so the majority partner tried to um, essentially just like force him out of the company.
Mhm.
And I like couldn't stand by that and like just didn't seem like it was right. So I essentially said that like I was gonna like stop working with him
Right.
unless we retained that guy. And we did. And that partner, like the majority partner and I don't really speak anymore just because
Mhm.
I don't really like the way that he did business. But the guy that, you know, was potentially on the chopping block and then wasn't on the chopping block, we still work together to this day.
Nice. How long did he work there before that happened?
2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
When you say was he trying to like buy him out?
He wasn't even trying
Or
to
was he
buy him
just
out.
trying to
He
like
was
fire him? Like
he
get
was
rid of
trying
him?
to like get us to vote him out of the company. And he really didn't even need our votes, but
Yeah.
he couldn't operate without me. So like I was the operator in the company and the rest of them were kind of more like the sales guys basically. And so, I use that to keep that other guy safe.
Okay. In your industry specifically, is there any ethical dilemmas that you face on a daily basis, or is it just kind of every now and then?
Yeah, I mean, my job is all about like Lookout Pest Control. We're a private equity owned company. Um, and so like our board, I have to meet with our board once a week and tell them like my job is to buy mom and pop shop
Mhm.
companies. And the whole goal of the board is pay as little as possible for these companies. Um, and like on the other side of that, these people are thinking about selling the business that they've built from the ground up,
Right.
and like they want to get the maximum value. And so, I mean, in any negotiation, you're coming in a little bit lower than what you could get to.
Right.
Um, and from my point of view, like I'd rather just cut through like the song and dance of trying to find like the zone of opportunity.
Mm.
Um, and I would rather just say, hey, here's our best offer. Here's our
Right.
best final offer. This is what we were approved to, but I don't get to do that. And that's like a ethically, it's probably what I struggle with the most, because I grew up under someone who had a business, who sold their business, and a lot of these private equity guys didn't.
You
Like
know.
they grew up in like, hey, my dad was a lawyer, or my dad had a private equity fund.
Yeah. Um, I completely lost my train of thought.
Morality and ethics on a
Yeah,
daily
yeah,
basis.
yeah. Okay, that's right. Okay. Have you ever had to go over the like you said the board gives you a specific number. Have you ever
Yep.
gone over that number? Or like do they allow that or is it just that's it, that's strict. We're there. If they can't get there, then it's not a deal.
Yeah, I mean, it has happened. Like we have a range that we're approved. So like, let's just say it's like 1.5 to $2 million.
Hmm.
Um, and then if that doesn't get it done, typically I'll start off at like 1.5 and try and negotiate to like 1.8 and
Yeah,
find somewhere in the middle.
yeah,
But let's just say that we get to $2 million. I can't, I can't do anything. My hands are completely tied. I have to go back in front of the board and then they have to approve like, okay, we'll go up to 2.2 million,
yeah.
but on the next deals, you can't go as high on those deals. So you're wasting that bullet here.
Right.
Um, and we don't really have to do it. And there are times where we like it's just an impasse and hey, we can't hit your number. Like we
Right.
can't get to your number. And I'm really honest with people about that.
Mm,
And I try and make sure they know that, we're not the only people that are going to come out and make an offer on your business. We're
right.
giving you our best possible offer right now, but if it doesn't make sense for you, I'm not a used car salesman.
Right.
I'm a guy giving you an opportunity.
Yeah. Do dude, I did it again. It's been a long day.
I understand.
Um, I'll just go to the next question. What do you see as the greatest professional ethics crisis of today, and how can emerging professionals prepare to deal with it?
Um, I think that the biggest emerging crisis right now is AI
Mm,
and like budget allocation to AI versus labor force. Um, because like number one, you're taking away jobs from people. You're taking away jobs from people that can like freely think and don't live like, yeah, they live within the confines of whatever they know,
yeah.
but you're replacing them with AI, which like is definitely fallible. Like I use Claude pretty much every day at
Mm,
work, and I would say it's wrong 70 to 80% of the time.
yeah.
When if I'm feeding it in a bunch of Excel spreadsheets and stuff, it
Mm,
just makes up numbers half the time.
yeah.
Um, and like it's taking away all these entry level and mid level jobs from the entire job market. And it's great for the profitability of like companies in the Fortune 500.
Yeah.
Fantastic for the investors in those companies. But what about the other 340 million people that are in the US that are
Yeah.
getting crushed by it?
Yeah.
by or not crushed by it, but like are pretty heavily at risk
Hmm.
from it.
Yeah, we like I'll use it for homework and stuff for accounting and finance, just if I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
You know? And it's probably wrong 60% of the time. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot. Like it like I said, makes up numbers. It started making up formulas
Yeah.
that just are not right. So I had to go back and I had to send it screenshots of my professor's answers because I was just trying to figure out how to do it. He just posts the question, posts the answer. And it was like, oh, he used this formula. When in the question it said use this formula. So like
Yeah.
it makes simple mistakes like that. When,
Yeah.
people make mistakes too, but like you said,
Yeah,
the
but you can reason. I mean, it's easier to reason. I think that people just when they see AIs doing it, they're just like, oh, it's right.
yeah,
Especially older, like
yeah.
older people, busier people, they're just like, yep, this is right.
Hmm.
Somebody was talking about like they worked on the strategy team at their company and it was like all about the strategic plan and blah, blah, blah. And everybody was super pumped about it. And then they were about to have a board call with all the AI data in it. And somebody had to go back and check. They were like, hey, this one number doesn't look right.
Yeah,
And then they checked and they were like, what is this based on? And it was like, oh, well, I just kind of made some assumptions and it's not really based on the historical data of the company.
yeah.
And all the numbers that they've been operating off of were like
Oh my God.
completely made up.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That sounds like terrible. Um, have you ever been in an interview with a company where they like need the money? And has your board ever tried to go lower than what y'all want to pay just because they need it?
Like they need to get paid out.
Like, yeah, like they're in a tough financial situation and they have to sell their company.
Yeah. I mean, that's happening right now. We had a business in Alabama where the two owners got in a car accident and they can't like service the customers in the same way. And they're trying to go into government contracting. And it's like, there's many things. These people are very interesting people. They just found out they're Native Americans. So they're about to go off in the government contracting
Yeah.
world, according to them. Um, but I had had a conversation with them about a year ago of like, hey, this is what the business is worth, or this is what this is like the ballpark of what we're paying. And um, we've reframed our investment criteria and everything. So like, for smaller companies like that, we just can't pay as much anymore.
Yeah.
And so I had to come back to him and be like, hey, this is the most I can pay. And it was less than like the minimum of what we talked about a year ago.
Okay.
And that was pretty crappy.
Yeah.
They ended up doing it. I mean, they did it. So,
Yeah, they don't really have a choice if they can't,
yeah,
which is, I guess, an ethical dilemma.
it is. It is. I have ethical dilemmas pretty much every day.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording if I can figure it out.